Hello, my name is Andrea. Welcome back. Today I want to talk to you all about our curriculum choices for the second grade. I have two kids. My son is going into the fourth grade, and my daughter is about to turn 7 here in a couple of weeks, and she will be going into the second grade next year. We are doing Ambleside Online. It's a Charlotte Mason classical curriculum. It's a free curriculum that you can do on your own online. It has a lot of leeway on things that you can choose for yourself based on what works best for your family, what you want to use for math and foreign language. It allows you your own choices. And then it basically is like a book list of sorts for classic books for your kids to read at their age. So we followed the Ambleside Online schedule as far as books go. And so I really don't feel the need to show you all that right now. I was really just going to talk about the curriculum choices that are individual for us through Ambleside Online. If you go to Ambleside Online and you look at the year that your kid is going into, I have printed off the year 2 schedule. And this is like term 1, there's 3 terms. And this is the first term schedule for year 2 that my daughter will be in. And so the first page of it is pretty much the reading schedule for everything. And then the second page is where you do your daily work and your weekly work. So the daily work is things like math, handwriting, phonics, foreign language, physical activity, and recitation. And all of these things are individual choices. So I'm going to start with what we have chosen for her daily work. Second grade math. Math is something that I have really struggled with purchasing this year, because my kids have been using rod and staff math, and I actually really like it. And I think that they're learning a lot, and I like the pace, I like the style, I like everything about it. But my son had requested to go back to Math with Confidence. He did that during second grade, and then for third grade, we did rod and staff. And then, so for fourth grade, he asked if he could go back to Math with Confidence, and I kind of feel like I caved. But I really liked Math with Confidence too. So I thought that was fine to let him choose that if that was his preference, because I do think that it's a really great curriculum. I'm just a little worried that it might be a little parent intense while also having 2 kids in it at the same time, because I remember Math with Confidence for the second grade. It wasn't too much, but now I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm doing that and a fourth grade version as well. We'll see how this goes. So I did get Math with Confidence. That's a long story to say. We're doing Math with Confidence 2, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm not excited about it. I am familiar with it. I like teaching things for the second time because I kind of feel like my daughter might be getting a better version of a teacher because I'm just used to doing it now with her. So I still had my old Math with Confidence teacher guide, so I didn't need to purchase this, so that was great. And I got the student workbook that goes with Math with Confidence too. And flipping through this, like, she's finishing up with her first grade math like this week, and it looks like where she's starting with Math with Confidence second grade, she has been perfectly, beautifully prepared from rod and staff in order to start this. So we'll be starting Math with Confidence second grade with my daughter when the time comes to start term 1 of year 2 of Ambleside Online during the summer, like I said. So I have moved to just an exclusive Ambleside Online schedule. And so we're technically in our term 3 right now. And so my daughter is in year 1, term 3. And yet she's finishing up with her first grade math. And so I have plans for her to do Math with Confidence. What is it called? Oh, like subtraction facts that stick and addition facts that stick from Kate Snow, who is the same author of all the Math with Confidence stuff. So we're going to just kind of be doing some activities like that until we are ready to start this, because I don't want to start this too early. There's really no need to rush. So we're just going to kind of continue on with getting those math facts in our heads, and we'll just be all the better prepared to start with second grade math. Okay, the second thing on the list is handwriting and copywork. So copywork will be just things that we are maybe working on. If she's trying to memorize a poem or a scripture, she can copy that down in her copybook. But for penmanship specifically, I got penmanship for Christian writing from Rod and Staff. And what she has already learned cursive this year through New American Cursive from Memoria Press. why I wanted to go with Rod and Staff this year is, one, it's also just a review of print writing, but then it also goes in again into more cursive. And I do like that she will be learning kind of the more old school cursive. So she did New American Cursive, where the T and the F are basically like a regular T and F if you were just printing it. And I like how she's going to learn the old school way of doing it as well. And they really do a lot of good exercises with making sure that they really focus on the slant and size and stuff like this. So also looking through the teacher's manual, there are a lot of great tips. Like there's a teaching tip for every lesson so that I can be a good handwriting teacher to my daughter and to give her tips on what to do and how to make her writing more beautiful. I do kind of think that might be one of the reasons why my own handwriting is so bad. I don't remember anybody really teaching me how to have beautiful handwriting. I remember being taught how to form the letters, and then it was like, make it look neater was my instruction. So I do really like how there is a style of teaching, penmanship, that I am happy to learn how to teach my daughter how to have beautiful handwriting. So I'm excited to get into this and to learn that, because it's more than just copying over and over again until it looks better. Like there are techniques and practice things that you can do to just make it second nature, to have the right slant and everything. So anyway, so penmanship and handwriting stuff I got from Rod and Staff for the second grade. And the next thing on my list is phonics and reading. And there's clearly a ton of reading through Ambleside Online. So all of these readings, it will be a mix on kind of sharing reading, but if it's something that's just like way too difficult, like she's not going to be reading straight out of an island or Our Island Story. I'll be reading that to her, but she'll be narrating everything that I read to her. So she'll be telling back to me what the reading was about. But specifically for her to continue on with learning phonics and reading, I also ordered something else from Rod and Staff. I really am a big fan of Rod and Staff. So let me show you what that is. So for kindergarten and first grade, so she actually has done really well with phonics and with reading. For kindergarten and first grade, I worked with her out of this Alpha Phonics book. And this is just a pure phonics lesson. You learn all of the sounds, all of the blends, and then I would mix in Copywork with it, because I would make little sentences using I would make little sentences on a separate sheet of paper using the things that she was learning about to reinforce all of those sounds. But I do like how Ambleside Online is saying continue with phonics into the second grade. I think sometimes once kids know how to read, you can almost just drop it and think that they're fine. And, my daughter is reading. She does need a lot of practice. So I ordered Rod and Staff phonics, their phonics program for grade 2. And it comes with this teacher's manual and 4 workbooks. So there's 5 units, 4 workbooks. And I'll just show you where unit 1 begins. It begins back at the beginning. And so sometimes I like that she's going to open this up and be like, really, this is so easy. But I think that does build confidence. And I think that she won't dread doing something that she feels like she's really good at. So I think going through all of the phonics sounds again in the second grade is going to just be super helpful. So I don't see this taking very much time for us to get through, but I do just want to reinforce all of these things again to just make her an even stronger reader, and then just also tons and tons of practice. And so I got their reading program. I got their reading program, which is this stories about God's people. What I love is that so their readers aren't just made up stories about, nothing in particular, but, they're God's stories. They're taking biblical stories and putting them in a format that would be at a reading level that would work for her. And so she's going to be using this as her reader. And there's just like a little workbook that goes with it. I don't know if we'll use the workbook that goes with the reader as much. We might do some of the exercises and some of them we might not, because I don't want to just get too workbook heavy. But I do really like the program. So we're going to be doing that for her phonics and reading program for the second grade. Oh, so foreign language is a favorite of mine. I am passionate about teaching my kids Spanish. And so what I am using for her, we're using just as a family in general, we use Pimsleur. It's completely this audible language learning lesson that you can do on a walk, washing dishes. I wouldn't do anything that takes any thinking while you're trying to do it, because it is kind of intense. I mean, it goes at a pretty quick speed. And so, I mean, it's for me, it's for my son who is 9, and my daughter who, like I said, she's about to turn 7, which is crazy. She's doing it too. But with her, I will usually repeat the lesson 2 or 3 times maybe, so that we're not moving on too fast for her. But she's picking up a lot with it. But I also, with her, we don't just do Pimsleur. We do shorter lessons with her as well for Spanish. And I did start this here recently, which is the Charlotte Mason method of teaching Spanish. This is Speaking Spanish with Miss Mason and Francois. And I've mentioned this before on a previous video, but I am really enjoying it. There's this whole method surrounding this that I can do kind of a deeper dive on it later. But it is really stressing verbs. And so like the very first lesson is I take the book, I open the book, I close the book. So tomo el libro, abro el libro, cierro el libro. And you just keep repeating that over and over again, but you actually physically tomo el libro, abro el libro, cierro el libro. And my daughter in particular really enjoys that physical nature of the lesson. I think, she's young. And so it becomes kind of a game for her. And what is really, really funny is that this reminds us, we're going through some of these exercises. And with the repeating, she finds it funny to take something and be like, tomo el libro, abro el libro, leo el libro, cierro el libro. It reminds her of this book, The Important Book. I don't know if you guys have ever read this before, and I don't know if this book is supposed to be a comedy, but we took it to be one. So The Important Book is really good. It's by the author of Goodnight Moon by Margaret Wise Brown. It's just this cute little book that says, the important thing about a spoon is that you eat with it. It's like a little shovel. You hold it in your hand. You can put it in your mouth. So after the first few pages of this, of explaining everyday things, my kids just started cracking up because they were like, oh my gosh, when I got to the important thing about rain is that it is wet. They're just dying laughing because, of course, but then they're trying to figure out what it was going to say about it. Well, we just as a family love to just do this in real life. The important thing about a microphone is that you talk to it. And so anyway, I say all that to say that this curriculum is reminding us of one of our favorite books that we just have fun with. And so I have noticed my daughter just doing that with other little things like tomo el cereal, como el cereal, me gusta el cereal. And so she's just laughing, thinking that she's making a joke about it. And I'm like, well, joke's on you because you are thinking in Spanish. So I am loving this so far. Another thing that I really like about it, it has some dictation practice in it. So she likes to, one of her favorite things to do is to say this Spanish table blessing prayer that she had learned previously. She loves to say the table blessing in Spanish. And I think that sometimes since my daughter, it's not like she struggled with reading, it just didn't come easily to her. And so I think that might be why she loves recitation so much. Did I say dictation or recitation? I meant recitation. She actually really enjoys to memorize things. I think because then she can easily read it when she has already memorized it. And she just likes that accomplishment of having memorized written words. And so I do like how there is recitation in the Spanish and anyway, it's just really striking her fancy. So we do that for Spanish. We do, like I said, Pimsleur. Another favorite for my daughter specifically, these are maybe a little too easy for my son because he's kind of like at a little bit higher of a level in Spanish, but my daughter loves these books by Camila Gibbon. So she writes these fun books about Carlos. And they are super simple to understand. And so with my daughter, again, she likes and appreciates it when she can understand something. And so you don't have to know Spanish to be able to understand what this book is. It's 100% in Spanish, but the context of it makes you understand what they're saying. And so then, especially for kids who like to read their favorite books over and over again, she's learning so many words. Anyway, she loves these books. I would highly recommend these for beginning Spanish, just because, again, with the confidence, it's 100% in Spanish, yet you can understand it. It's all in the present tense. There's nothing tricky about it. It just really gets you to start to be familiar with the language and to appreciate it and just enjoy it and have fun with it. Oh, also for foreign language, a lot of people don't start Latin until 3rd grade, and I would be on board with that as well. However, just due to my experience with Memoria Press, I used Prima Latina with my son when he was, I got this when he was about halfway through 2nd grade. So I think that I started this with my son like the January of his 2nd grade year. And we still got all the way through it in order to start Latina Christiana for 3rd grade. And so I wouldn't just recommend starting like this full-blown Latin program with a 2nd grader, but this Latin program, Prima Latina, is so gentle and easy that I really don't see the problem in going ahead and starting it in the 2nd grade. I mean, you're quite literally just learning 5 words. A lesson, if I start this at the beginning of her 2nd grade year, I mean, we could take considerable amount of time on each lesson, and she will just be all the more prepared to start Latina Christiana in the 3rd grade. So I do have this for my daughter for 2nd grade as well. And what I like about this, I've ordered this again because I did it with my son. They have this introduction to English grammar to go along with Prima Latina. And so the grammar that you're learning in Latin corresponds. They have a corresponding lesson on the English grammar version of that. So you learn what is a noun in Latin and how to recognize it. You learn what a noun is in English and how to recognize it. So they're really reinforcing each other. And so kind of what I like about Prima Latina is that it is almost an intro grammar lesson just in general. We're doing that as well. And again, like this is the student workbook for Intro to English Grammar. It is not too much. Each lesson is 1 page, and the total number of lessons are 25, with like 5 or 6 bonus lessons. It's not too much to take on. I did really enjoy it, and I think my son appreciated just kind of the intro to Latin at an early age. He's going into 4th grade, like I said, and he's gone through Latina Christiana. We're doing some other things with him that has really kind of stepped up his Latin as well. He'll be doing the first form Latin, but we're doing some other stuff too, just to mix things up a little bit. But anyway, so we'll get started on Latin with my daughter as well. So let's see. Oh, the other reason too, I didn't mention this before, and maybe I should just do a deeper dive on the Rod and Staff reading stuff, is what is not in the Introduction to English Grammar is things like diagramming sentences and stuff like that. And I did notice that in the Rod and Staff, they did have that in like a very simple way. And again, it's just something that I never learned as a child, but as an adult, I am learning so much more from being able to do that, to be able to deconstruct a sentence and pick out the parts of speech in order to make things easier to understand, which also helps you a lot in acquiring a foreign language when you can recognize what is a verb and what is a noun just by looking at the construction of the sentence. Anyway, that's just a deeper dive into language learning in general, but I just think that it's an important thing that I don't want her to miss out on. The only other thing that we have on here is physical activity and recitation. With recitation, I do kind of take a lot of hints just from the Ambleside Online schedule of recitation, but then we also mix in our own things as well. If she really loves a poem, then we should definitely memorize that poem instead of what Ambleside Online is recommending. Okay, and then for weekly work, we have art, artist study, geography, timeline, handicrafts. I think that I don't want this video to go on too long, but I will say for art, It's probably her very favorite thing in the whole world. I have mentioned this before, but we're all loving as a family right now this drawing textbook. And we are, we're at lesson 13 today. Why I love it. And he has a whole philosophy at the beginning of this book on just the importance of knowing how to draw, and that everybody should know how to draw. You can't really express yourself or communicate. Really, from him, it's more about being able to communicate an idea or a thought by knowing how to draw. It's not about being an artist or being good at art or anything like that, but knowing just how to draw is so necessary in life. It's like, how can you have a nature journal if you don't have some technique on knowing how to draw what you are looking at and making it look realistic? You want to make something look like how you saw it so that you can explain it to somebody else or teach something to somebody else. Anyway, it's just really, really good. And so we've been going through this slowly over the year, and we'll continue with that. She loves it. I got some of his other ones as well, but I really think that this drawing textbook, this is like the main thing that teaches you about perspective and all of just the laws of drawing and how you can make something look realistic. So we continue with this. I have like this starter watercolor program that we're going to be doing together. I haven't started it officially with her, like how I have with the drawing, but I think I have that on my schedule for next week though. So that'll be fun. Learning watercolors. It's not like she hasn't already broken into the watercolors. That's not a problem. But I have noticed that she has used a lot of what she has learned from this in just her painting and her watercolor free-for-all. So that's art. For artist study, what we do is, let me get it right here. We started on this with artist study not too long ago. Ambleside Online has an artist study that you can follow along and do it absolutely for free because you can just pull up all of the information online. You can see all of the paintings and everything and just do a complete artist study for free online. I just decided to order this because I wanted to, because it looked so beautiful and it was recommended by somebody else. But I got this artist study set from Purple House Press. Yeah, Purple House. There are all these artists. I got 6 of them. The one we have started with is Raphael. Why I like it is that it puts his life and all of his work, it talks about his work in the form of a story. And so it's just kind of compelling. We have started reading it, and it's amazing what my kids can remember because it was a story. And so then they can tell it back to me, because they're telling back a story that they were listening to. And so we've started with Raphael, but another thing, what I really love about this artist study that we're doing are all the prints that came with it. With each artist, there came, let me count 1, 2, 8 prints, and they're all beautiful, high quality prints, and we are loving it. I think that is probably it on the specific things that we picked out just for my daughter for 2nd grade. If you have any questions about anything, please leave them down below. And I'm sure that I'll be going in a little bit deeper on some of the specifics that we have picked out so that you can get a better look at each of them. This is just meant to be a general overview of what we're doing for the 2nd grade with my daughter using Ambleside Online as our core, and then all of the little different things that she'll be doing on her own as well. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that you subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.